Hey everyone, I'm Chaney from Chaney Tech Time, and welcome to episode 6 of Chaney's Tech Talk. This episode's going to be all about 3D printing and my experience with setting up a Creality Ender 3 V2 for the first time and printing on it. It's a new concept for me, so I'm going to talk about what it was like learning how to 3D print and also some upgrades that I made that really improved my experience. Let's get right into it. So when I got the 3D printer, I had to build it first, but that actually wasn't too big of a deal. I got it done in about an hour and the process was pretty easy. I watched a YouTube video going through the building process rather than using the instructions just because personally watching someone else do it rather than relying on an instruction booklet that's hard to understand is easier for me at least. Once I actually did get it built and set up, I immediately started to print some things. I hooked up some white Hatchbox PLA and started to print some test files, and that is where I ran into my first issue. My prints weren't sticking. Now, after some quick Googling, I could tell that it had something to do with the bed leveling. Mind you, the Creality Ender 3 V2 has no bed leveling assistant or auto bed leveler out of the box. If you want to have a bed leveler, then you need to get a BL Touch, CR Touch, or EZABL separately. I chose the latter, and I'll tell you why soon. After I spent some time leveling the bed, I could tell that it's a finicky process and that it's something that I'd rather prefer not to do every single time I want to print, but I had to, and there was nothing I could do about it at the time. So I hopped on Amazon and bought upgraded bed springs and went to TH3D and bought an EZABL Pro. I figured this combo would make printing a lot easier since I wouldn't have to level the bed nearly as often. Now, some 3D printing hobbyists are probably asking, why not go with a BL Touch Probe or CR Touch from Creality? Well, it's actually a simple answer, for me at least. From looking at things online, the EZABL seems to be an easier option. I mean, easy is in its name. But also, the BL Touch has a probe that seems to be prone to breaking, and I've also seen people have bad firmware experiences with the BL Touch, so I just resorted to paying the extra money to get an EZABL. Plus, I haven't been dissatisfied with it, so that's a huge plus. Because I was using a TH3D product, I did have to install their unified Marlin firmware. Based on Marlin 2.0, it was easy to install and compile, and the only tricky part was probably to set up my personal VS Code instance. But if you upgrade your mainboard to one from TH3D, you can compile the firmware online with their easy firmware compiler. But VS Code wasn't too difficult to set up. All you had to do was set up the Platform I/O plugin and tweak a couple of settings. TH3D has great documentation that's easy to follow, and it makes the process a whole lot simpler. Overall, I really like the firmware and how it works with the printer, but something that I noticed and that a lot of people recommend, including TH3D, is swapping the stock LCD screen of the Ender 3 V2 and replacing it with an OEM Ender 3 screen. And that's going to get you more features because of how the stock display communicates with the printer. I'm not going to get too deep into it now, how it works, but it's something that I may talk about in the future. Some other upgrades that I'm going to consider in the future is replacing the stock extruder, the PTFE tube, and the glass bed. Now, the extruder is made of plastic and is also prone to breaking, so people say to upgrade to a metal one, which is about a $20 upgrade. Replacing your Bowden tube allows you to print with more materials that are at higher temperatures like PETG and PLA. And since the stock PTFE tube can melt and fail at higher temps, it's usually a good idea to replace it. Now, the glass bed, especially with the Creality sticking surface, is fine, but I'm probably going to get a metal PEI flex bed with an adhesive mat on top of it, both of which are available at TH3D. I'd say the extruder, bed springs, EZABL, and Bowden tube are the 4 things that are necessities for this printer. After you upgrade to those things, then you'll have a really nice printer that is way easier to use and more universal with what you can do with it. Stay tuned since I'm almost done writing my full review of the Creality Ender 3 V2 on Chaney Tech Time, and we'll be posting the video review within the next couple of weeks. And on that note, that wraps up episode 6 of Chaney's Tech Talk. If you've got any suggestions for more content or new posts for Chaney Tech Time, do leave them in the comments if you're watching on the website or YouTube. Don't forget that Chaney's Tech Talk is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and Audible, and a lot more. Send me a voice message for Chaney's Tech Talk by going to anchor.fm/Chaney's Tech Talk. If you leave a message, I will play your messages and answer them on the show. I'm Chaney from Chaney Tech Time, and this is Chaney's Tech Talk.